Hello everyone, and welcome to the Virtual Why. My name is Mike, and we've got 30 minutes of mindfulness, movement, and meditation today. Just a quick note, if you are joining us today on YouTube or streaming on Facebook, just want to let you know that the Virtual Why does offer a membership of $9.99 a month. And you have access to a considerably large library of material there at all times, including classes like this, high energy classes, all kinds of yoga classes, you name it. Check it out at ymcanorth.org. Today's class is going to, maybe it's an introduction for you to the practice of mindfulness and the tool of meditation that we use to practice our mindfulness. Maybe you have been doing it for some time. This class has got that component of movement to it because in the yoga tradition there is a certain succession of things that sometimes help us build toward being able to sit in meditation. And so that's really the point of this class. Number one, to kind of break up the time that we spend sitting, but then also to help condition the body in ways that enable us to sit better in meditation so that you can eventually sit for longer times and not feel bothered. Because the whole point is to remain really, really still and to go inward. And if our body is bothering us, that's going to be a real impediment. Well, let's talk about that seat. We always will begin with a little bit of grounding and mindfulness. And I'm sitting up on kind of a tri-folded blanket. At home, I would sit up on a cushion, which is a little bit higher than that. And you want to be comfortable. You want to sit in a place where you can have maybe some cross legs and you're comfortable. You're not going to fidget too much, or at all, hopefully. And head, neck, and trunk are in alignment. Now, for some people, it's going to be a back issue, hip issues, anything sitting down on the floor just isn't going to work. And if that's you, then please sit in a chair. Do find your way. Now, I'll say that if you want to sit in a chair, let's not slump back in it. Let's sit a little bit forward. Maybe your thighs are parallel to the floor and your feet remain flat. You still want to be able to use that spine to find the sweet spot, nice and balanced. So let's all do that together. And let's maybe take the chin mudra today too as we set up. And all that is to touch the tip of the index finger and the thumbs together. And they just rest on your legs. So maybe your upper arms feel like they are parallel to your sides. And again, make some micro adjustments. Sway like a little blade of grass in ways and find what your midpoint is side to side. What's your midpoint front to back? Find that great spot for you to be able to sit comfortably. And today we're going to establish ourselves in and on the breath as always. And we use the breath as an anchor for our concentration. So make your last adjustments, and as you begin to come into some internal space, just bring your attention to your body, letting it relax and become still. Gradually shifting your awareness more to the flow of your breath. And today, just feeling the sensations of exhalation and inhalation that compose each breath. Noticing the anatomy of the breath, perhaps, what the air feels like at the nostrils. Here too, at the beginning of your practice, having a bit of intention for literally practicing and remaining open and removing judgment for anything that you encounter. And knowing that things may come up or it may feel challenging, but you should never regard your practice as something that didn't go quite right or that was a failure in any way, because any time spent practicing mindfulness is a net good, and with practice becomes cumulatively easier and has this cumulative effect on our psyche as well. So continuing to focus on your breath, always guiding yourself back to what's happening as the body breathes. If your mind wanders, again, don't scold it, just guide yourself back. And I'm going to give us a little bit more of a focus today on the breath. I want you to begin directing it into a deeper volume, what we would call one-to-one breathing, samavriti, complete breathing, which means you're going to increase your inhales to about 2/3 of your breathing capacity, and increasing your exhales, letting the lungs empty out. And notice what effect this is when we bring our focus of our being, our awareness, everything that's going on in our mind onto our breath, just to make sure that we're maintaining that slightly larger volume of breath. Just kind of notice how lengthening and smoothing and allowing our, what we would call our prana, our energy, to be very free-flowing and unrestricted can help start to change the landscape of the mind. Noticing if there are any irregularities in the inhale or exhale. Smoothing those things out, but keeping that nice volume. That volume is the thing that is slightly different than our natural breath and demands our attention in just the smallest way. The inhales melt into the exhales. The exhales then melt into the inhales, almost like they are a steady wheel, a rotation, a cycle. And then I want to add one more piece to this today. As you begin to draw your next inhale, at the top of the inhale, I'd like you to insert a pause. Nothing that strains, and notice what the mind does in response. And when you're ready, continue with your exhale. And at the end of your exhale, insert a pause. So please do this with effortlessness, a sense of joy. Inhale and pausing, exhaling and pausing. Now, if you are pregnant, I advise you not to hold the breath and continue with your smooth cycle. But eventually, try to find rest in those pauses at the end of the inhale, retaining the breath inside, and a restfulness at the end of the exhale when you pause. So if your inhale is a count of 3 or 4, maybe you start with a pause that's, brief. Maybe it's just a count of 1. And your exhale is again a count of 3 or 4. And that pause at the end of the exhale is a 1. But as we progress a practice like this, you may find that both the inhale and the retention are the same length, and the same count on the exhale, and the same as the suspension out. If this is new to you, please just be gentle with your practice, allowing maybe even an effortless sense of that pause, not controlling it, not gasping for breath. Allowing yourself to then initiate the next part of the breath when the body is ready for it. And again, practice, change comes with practice. And so for today, just introducing yourself to the insertion of the pauses in the breath. And noticing what happens to the mind when you do. Be an observer. Do another couple rounds. Inhaling. This is called box breathing. We inhale up, hold, exhale down, hold. Good. And whenever you have finished another cycle, let's go ahead and release the technique. And increase your breath, maybe a nice inhale, and open your eyes once more. So that is a very dedicated kind of, we would call pranayama. Not quite one-to-one breathing, it's more like one, 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 one breathing. And hopefully you got just a little bit of a nugget there on how that affects the state of the mind. Just paying attention a little bit. Let's move mindfully in a few ways. All right, we're gonna lie back first. So if you're sitting on something, let's get rid of that and lie back. And we're gonna do something called Tadaka Mudra flow, and I'm gonna ask you to continue both your nice even cycles of breath and your concentration skills are gonna start to come into play too. So lying on down and relaxed. The next time that you inhale, raise your right arm up overhead and begin to flex your left foot. So the right hand eventually reaches the floor above you. And then as you exhale, start to draw the arm back to the side and relax the foot, but I want you to coordinate it so that they touch and end at the same time. Now, inhale, the left arm comes overhead as the left foot flexes. And then exhale, left arm comes back as the foot begins to sort of relax again. So we'll go side to side. One more time. Inhale, the right hand comes up as the foot flexes, and challenge yourself to coordinate it so that it's fully flexed and fully extended at the same time. And then exhale. So again, it's almost another way of practicing our mindfulness in a meditative movement. Inhale, the left hand, arm raises, and the foot flexes. They complete at the same time. And then exhale, bring them back, smooth completing at the same time. And then we're going to go ahead and do both arms, both feet. Inhale, both arms overhead, slow flex in the feet. And then pause at the top if it feels okay. Reach. And then exhale, bring those arms back to the side as we gently let the feet relax. And at the end of that exhale, go ahead and pause if it feels natural. Do this a couple more times. Inhale to arms overhead, raising and starting to flex the feet. At the top of that inhale, pause and reach. Drop into the heart. Exhale and bring those arms back to the side as the feet just kind of melt. Synchronized. And pause at the end of the exhale if that feels okay. Do one more. Nice long inhales. Nice and smooth, so you're continuing. And then pause. There's a big continuity in our breath practice today. Exhaling and noticing what's happening in the energetic landscape of the body. Pausing at the end of that exhale again. And we'll let that be the last one. Good. Let's go ahead and hug our knees in. Actually, let's take our hands onto our knees and give some opposite circles. These are really nice for opening up those hips. If sitting in our posture was got a little bit tight, and then reverse direction. Make sure you're making nice big circles. This is great hip openers for those seated postures. Nice. All right, and then let's go ahead and rock up, and we're going to do something similar. We'll come on and do some cat-cow. Hands are under your shoulders and knees under your hips. And your hands actually come a little bit in front of your shoulders. So inhale, lift your tailbone. And then lift your heart. Exhale, draw your chin in, draw your navel in. And it's almost like as you sit back and your hips reach towards your heels, you're feeling yourself stretch out long with your grip out in front of you, okay? And surrender. Now, when you inhale, start to pull yourself forward on the mat, draw your heart forward. So it's like I'm using the stickiness of my hands to draw myself forward and come on up. Lift the tailbone, okay? Exhale, now press, draw your navel in, chin comes in. And I want you to, it's a different movement, but we're still thinking about coordinating the inhale with the movement. Inhale, coming all the way up. As long as it takes, both the inhale and the movement finish at the same time. Exhale, draw the navel in. And you're tilting the pelvis a little bit. And if you really wanted to, you could insert those pauses too, just like we were doing. It's just a little bit more ingraining that technique if you want to. And then pause at the end of the inhale. Exhale. It's a real kind of pranayama basics. Good. And let's go ahead and come back on up to all fours. And then we're going to come onto our front. So come all the way on up onto the belly and begin with your hands making a diamond on your low back. So from here, put your forehead down and inhale, lifting your right leg, and your left hand is going to come around and salute. All right, salute at the forehead, and then exhale as you bring the hand back, look to the right. It's a lot of lefts and rights here, I know. Okay, inhale, lift your left foot and start to salute with the right hand. And then as you exhale, look to the left and rest. A couple more times. Inhale, the right hand and the left hand salutes. All right. And then exhale, look around to the right. Inhale as the left foot and right hand come around. Exhale and go to the left. Go ahead and keep going on that. Nice. I'm just checking to see that my microphone is working. And when you complete one more round of that, let's go ahead and come back to center and press yourself up. I'd like to do a twist here. It'll be nice for the spine and for the hips, so have a seat again. And cross your legs. Any comfortable seat. Asana, your seat is your preparation for all meditation. Okay, so we're going to do a little twist here. Let's keep it simple today. Be steady. Let's go ahead and cross your left hand over your right knee. And then place your right hand behind you. So inhale, let's just establish a nice twist here first. Inhale to lift up. And then exhale, start to turn yourself. And I'm going to continue today to use a little bit of very, very particular movement as we retain the twist. Okay, so let's inhale, open your right shoulder back, and exhale, look back as well. Now, as you inhale, stay in the twist. Inhale and bring your eye gaze over the center of your torso, and exhale, twist right back. But your gaze is going straight in front of you. Now let's progress that. Inhale, bring your eye gaze to look over your left shoulder, stay in the twist. And exhale as you kind of twist right, but look left. Now we're going to come back center. Inhale, bring your gaze to come back to the center of the torso. One last time, exhale, look back right and twist right. Good, and let's go ahead and release that and come on front. Cross your right arm over your left knee and then use your left hand behind you. So we stayed in the twist the whole time. Get yourself set up, but we changed what we did with our neck. So it's kind of part mental exercise and part twist exercise, right? All right, let's inhale to lift and then establish our nice twist over to the left, looking back. Inhale. Start again, just exhale and look back to the left. Now we're going to stay in the twist. Inhale, bring your gaze, your head towards the center line. Stay there with the gaze, and then exhale, open your left shoulder back, twist. Draw your navel in. Now inhale, look over your right shoulder. And exhale again, look right but twist left. Inhale, stay in the twist. Bring your gaze back to your center. And then exhale one last time, look left. Good. All right, the last thing I want to do is just relax in a fold. If it works to do so like this, go ahead. Otherwise, just straighten your legs and just come forward. You can bend your knees a little bit and just fall forward, guys. Maybe if you were sitting cross-legged, you can switch the direction. Come just forward a bit and surrender. Maybe even shift in the hips. I just want to release those hips a little bit and stretch the back before we return to seated again. And I've got a nice little visualization for us today to put at the end part of our meditation. So when you are ready, go ahead and find your way back to a comfortable seat. So if anything changed, my blanket got a little pancaked. So I'm gonna put it back together. Again, make sure that you can sit comfortably. So we'll spend another couple minutes here. All right? Get your seat. Maybe it's in the chair. And whenever you're ready, you're coming back in. Always just close your eyes, stack the head, neck, and trunk, and find your good spot. Seat of meditation. And today, I'm going to continue on and do a little visualization that helps us with our spinal alignment, keeping us with that nice highway. Sense your spine here, that blade of grass. Sense it as that super highway of your energetic self. And I'm going to ask you to really kind of draw your awareness inside, this interoception, as we just draw our attention to various parts of the body for a moment. Begin here, and I want you to draw your awareness with your eyes closed to the point of your nose. And what I want to do at each location, this is just kind of called a GPS practice actually, up and down the spine. Focusing at the nose, and just whenever you feel that you've got a little tingling there, or your attention is fully there, then I want you to move your attention to the pit of the throat. So we're going to come down the front side of the body here. All your awareness at what is the sensation at the pit of the throat. And then let's keep moving. Draw your awareness to what's happening at your navel center, your solar plexus there, that mid-belly. Notice what sensations are returning to your brain from your nervous system about that part of the body. Now move to the area of your sacrum, or your pubic bone, your low abdomen. Receive some feedback from the body at the brain. Do you know it's there? And then your awareness down at what we would call the perineal floor, your pelvic floor, your sit bones. What are your sensations? What's your awareness at this point? And notice how your body sends signals of this back to your brain. And now we'll move up the back side of the body. What is the sensation and awareness that you can bring to the area of your tailbone, the sacrum? And that may be difficult to sense at times. Maybe there's a slight adjustment you can make in the body to be more aware of that area of the spine. And again, acknowledge that those signals are traveling from that area back to the brain. Now moving up to the lumbar spine, that's the lower spine. What sensations, feedback, signals are coming from this area? Connect your spine, moving up vertebra at a time, to the thoracic spine, which is the back side of the ribs. Here, those connect. And maybe you feel them expand a little bit when you breathe. What is the sensation at the thoracic spine? What signals does it send? And then skipping along the vertebra, moving on up to the cervical spine, which is across from the pit of the throat. Again, what are the sensations and awareness at the area there of the back of the neck? And then draw your attention, your awareness, all the way up to the crown of your head. You're even sensing that lightness, sensing this liftedness, airiness in through the spine, having now brought attention down the front and up the back. And here, really be aware of the column that is created down your center. Just remaining effortless, and again, maybe drawing in your mind's eye a vertical axis from your crown down to the root. The whole body just effortlessly suspended on this central channel. Now bring your breath awareness back, just staying nice and effortlessly tall, and bring your easy one-to-one awareness of breath back. Maybe you imagine that as you inhale, the breath travels from the crown of the head all the way down to your root. And as you exhale, energy travels from your root of your seat all the way up back to the crown of the head. So a smooth wave. Inhale from the crown to the seat, and exhaling from the seat to the crown. Just maintaining your awareness along this beautiful internal highway of energy. Inhaling descends from the crown all the way to your root. Exhaling comes back on up, and you may reach a point where the movement you experience is less about breath than it is about a flow, a sensation of energy, or a wave happening through the body. As you become more and more absorbed in the space of the spine. And if your mind wanders, don't judge yourself harshly. Just try to guide yourself back to where you were. Gentle movement of breath moving along the superhighway of the spine through the middle of the body. And then go ahead and relax the technique. As we finish today, many of our meditations will begin and finish with an Om. And where you are, you may not feel comfortable in chanting an Om if you're in a shared space. And if that's true, please just listen in to the quality of the sound while I do it once through, or join me, beginning by inhaling to fill the lungs. And sealing in your practice by bringing your hands to heart center and bowing your chin into your chest. Namaste, yogis. Thanks for joining me today. So that Om is something that we chant. It's a very universal sound, and when you can experience it internally and the way it sort of vibrates in a really primal way, it becomes a real comfort and a real touchstone. So you may see me use it here from time to time. If you have questions on the virtual Y or anywhere else, please scroll down on the virtual Y and leave feedback. If you're new to meditation, want to know more about what we just did, always okay to ask a question, and it will come to me. Please take care. See you next time.